Hi guys, so today I'm going to explain some of the other problems of income from other sources. So here Mr. Suresh submits the details of his income for the year ending 31st March 2019. He lives in a rented house. He pays a rent of rupees 6,000 per month. He has sublet one third portion of the house on a rent of rupees 3,000 per month. He has undertaken the liabilities for paying municipal taxes of rupees 1,500 and repairs of rupees 6,000 on the whole house. So here the assessee is living in rented house for the rent of rupees 6,000 per month. He has sublet one third portion of the house to the subtenant for the rent of rupees 3,000 per month. So it is a kind of income from subletting of house property. So it is taxable under income from other sources. So during the previous year he has made three payments. Those are rent of rupees 6,000 per month for the entire house, then municipal tax and repairs respectively for the entire house property. So for this the calculation will be computation of income from other sources of Mr. Suresh, the assessee, for the assessment year 2019-20. So first, income from subletting of house. So here the house property is sublet for rupees 6,000 per month, sorry 3,000 per month. So 3,000 into 12, rupees 36,000. So out of during the previous year he had made three payments. Those are rent for the house. So here 6,000 per month is to be paid for the entire house property, out of which one third portion rent will be received from the subtenant. So that will be deductible. 6,000 into 12 into 1 by 3, rupees 24,000. Then municipal tax and repairs both are paid for the entire house property. So we need to deduct one third portion of the house, because these amounts will be collected from the subtenant. So that will be calculated like 1,500 into one third, 6,000 into one third. So the balance is 9,500 is taxable income from subletting of house property. Next, income from agricultural land in Bangladesh. So it is a assessee has earned income from agricultural land in other countries. So any agricultural income earned in other countries is taxable under income from other sources. So entire amount will be taxable. Dividend from Union Trust of India, rupees 4,000, it is exempted. Next, he holds the following investments. Those are 1 lakh 8% tax-free commercial securities. So it is a non-government securities, it is commercial securities, moreover tax-free. So in the case of tax-free commercial securities, the amount of interest must be grossed up. So here they have given amount of investment and rate of interest. When they have given rate of interest and the amount of investment, the amount of interest must be grossed up. So for that, first we need to find out amount of interest. That is the amount of investment into rate of interest. Rupees 8,000 is the interest. So that must be grossed up. So for the securities, TDS rate will be 10%. So grossing up of interest will be amount of interest into 100 divided by 100 minus TDS rate. That means 8,000 into 100 divided by 90. So it is called as grossing of interest. Next, 30,000 7% debentures of JCT Mills Limited. So it is also a kind of security of non-government securities. So they have not given whether it is tax free or less tax. In the absence of information about the nature of securities, it should be considered as less tax securities. So in the case of less tax securities, if they have given only the interest, that will be grossed up. In other case, if they have given amount of investment and the rate of interest, so interest must not be grossed up. The amount of interest must be taken as interest on debentures. So in the case of less tax securities, if they have given amount of investment and the rate of interest, no need to be grossed up on the amount of interest. Directly we should take amount of interest, 30,000 into 7%. Next, rupees 72,000 10% tax-free debentures of LIC Limited listed India. So it is a kind of tax-free commercial securities. So they have given specifically as tax-free. So in such cases, if they have given amount of investment and rate of interest, the amount of interest must be grossed up. For that purpose, first we need to find out amount of interest. 72,000 into 10%, 7,200, that must be grossed up. So here the TDS rate on interest on securities will be 10%. So 7,200 into 100 divided by 100 minus 10, 90. So the amount of interest will be 8,000. Next, 10% UP State Electricity Board bonds rupees 10,000. So it is a kind of government securities. So here also they have not given whether it is tax free or less tax. So in the case of government securities, on interest we should not charge TDS. So only the amount of interest will be taxable. In the case of tax free government securities, it is completely exempted. In the case of less tax, we should take only the amount of interest, 10,000 into 10%, rupees 1,000. Next, interest on post office savings bank account rupees 1,000. It is exempted because as per the income tax rules, interest on post office savings bank account will be exempted up to rupees 3,500. So it is under the limit of exemption. So in such cases, entire amount of rupees 1,000 is not taxable, it is exempted. So the assessee can claim up to rupees 3,500 as exemption on interest on post office savings bank account. Next, honorarium received for writing articles in magazines rupees 1,000. It is taxable under income from other sources, rupees 1,000. The next, he is an examiner of number of universities. He received rupees 10,000 as remuneration. So he has done services in other universities as examiner. So for that purpose, he has got 10,000 as remuneration, that is taxable under income from other sources. Remuneration from universities rupees 10,000. So the total of all these incomes is to be called as taxable income from other sources, rupees 60,488. So here, dividend from UTI is an exempted income. Then interest on post office savings bank account is exempted up to 3,500. So if it is more than 3,500, the remaining balance will be taxable interest on post office savings bank account. So in the next problem, Mr. Pushkaran, a resident of Bangalore, provides the following information for the year ending 31st March 2018. Compute his income from other sources. So first one, he holds the following investment. So assessee has invested on various securities. Those are rupees 2 lakhs 9% tax free commercial securities. So it is nothing but non-government securities. They have given specifically as tax free commercial securities. So in such cases, the amount of interest must be grossed up. So when they have given amount of investment and the rate of interest, the interest amount will be taxable, grossed up. So that will be like, first we need to find out amount of interest, that is 2 lakhs into rate of interest 18,000. So amount of interest must be grossed up at the rate of 10%. That means 18,000 into 100 by 90. So the total amount of interest would be 20,000. Next, rupees 1 lakh for 8% listed debentures of SRM Limited. So it is also kind of non-commercial, so commercial securities, non-government securities, but they have not given specifically as tax-free or less tax. In the absence of nature of securities, by default it should be considered as less tax securities. So in such cases, in the case of less tax securities, if they have given amount of investment and a rate of interest, so there should be no grossing up of amount of interest. We should take only the interest amount, that is nothing but 1 lakh into 8%, rupees 8,000. In other case, if they have given only the amount of interest instead of amount of investment, in such cases, if interest is only given on less tax securities, that must be grossed up. Next, rupees 81,000 10% tax-free debentures of NRM Limited. So here also it is a kind of commercial securities, non-government securities. Moreover, they have given tax-free securities. So in such cases, they have given amount of investment and the rate of interest. So amount of interest must be grossed up at the rate of 10%. So first we need to find out interest. 81,000 into 10%, 8,100. So 8,100 into 100 divided by 90. So rupees 9,000 is the interest on tax-free debentures. Next, 40,000 10% Bescom bonds. So it is a kind of government securities. So on government securities, if it is tax-free, it is exempted. If it is less tax, amount of interest will be taxable. So there should be no grossing up of securities of government. So that means 40,000 to 10%, rupees 4,000 is taxable interest on Bescom bonds. Next, he lives in a rented house for which he pays rupees 12,000 per month. He had sublet 1/3 portion of the house on monthly rent rupees 6,000. He incurred rupees 7,200 for repairs and 6,000 for municipal tax of his house. So here the assessee is residing in a rented house for rupees 12,000 per month. He has sublet 1/3 portion of the house property to the subtenant on the monthly rent of rupees 6,000. It is nothing but it is a kind of income on subletting of house to the subtenant. So during the previous year he incurred 3 payments. Those are rent of the house, municipal repairs and municipal tax. So these 3 payments must be deductible from the income from subletting of house. So here the calculation is income from subletting of house. So here the house has sublet for the rent of rupees 6,000 per month. So the total income for the year will be 72,000. During the previous year he incurred 3 payments. Those are rent. Rupees 12,000 is for entire house property, but 1/3 portion of the rent will be collected from the subtenant. So that will be deductible. 12,000 into 12 into 1/3, 48,000. Municipal tax and repairs both are paid for the entire house. So out of which 1/3 will be deductible. 6,000 to 1/3, 7,200 to 1/3. The balance of 19,600 is the taxable income from subletting of house property. Next, received dividend from TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, gross rupees 30,000. So it is a kind of dividend from domestic company. It is exempted. Next, received interest on post office savings bank rupees 12,000. So here assessee has received interest on post office savings bank account rupees 12,000. So as per the income tax rules, he can claim an exemption of rupees 3 up to 3,500 as interest on post office savings bank account. Remaining will be taxable under income from other sources. So here total interest on post office savings bank account is 12,000, out of which he can claim up to 3,500. The balance 8,500 is taxable. So after adding up of all these incomes, the balance is to be called as 69,100 is the taxable income from other sources. So here dividend from TCS is a domestic company, so domestic income, so it is exempted. Interest on post office savings bank account is exempted up to 3,500 and the remaining is taxable. Remaining is taxable. So here you will be having 2 illustrations. So you need to go through and solve these 2 questions. So I'm going to explain the concepts of these 2 questions. So from the following information of Mr. Pranesh, compute his income from other sources for the assessment year 2019-20. Royalty from textbooks rupees 3,20,000. Expenses incurred in earning royalty income rupees 20,000. It is taxable under income from other sources. Any expenditures incurred for earning such incomes will be deductible. So rupees 20,000 must be deductible from the 3,20,000. Director's fees, setting fees received from X company rupees 35,000. It is taxable under income from other sources. So he is resident in a rented house on a rent of rupees 40,000 per month. He sublets 40% of the house to a subtenant on a rent of rupees 30,000 per month. It is nothing but subletting of house property to the subtenant. So during the previous year he had incurred 4 payments. Those are rent of whole house property and municipal tax, RIP insurance and repairs. So all these payments must be deductible up to 40% because he has sublet 40% of the house property. Next, rent from letting of building along with machinery rupees 60,000 per month. He claims the following expenses. It is a kind of income from subletting, letting of building or machinery on lease. So any expenditures incurred for earning these incomes will be deductible. That means from the 60,000 per month, that means 60,000 to 12. So from the 7,20,000, these two payments or expenses must be deductible and the balance is taxable. Next, income from agriculture in Rajasthan. So it is a kind of domestic income. So income from agriculture in India, it is exempted. Insurance commission received rupees 90,000 net. Expenses incurred in earning insurance commission is 15,500. It is a kind of income taxable under income from other sources. If the commission on insurance is exceeding rupees 20,000. If the amount exceeds rupees 20,000, TDS of 5% must be calculated. So that means 90,000, they have your net, we need to find out gross up value. So 90,000 into 100 divided by 95. So any expenditure incurred for earning this must be deductible. So from the total income, 15,500 must be deductible. Next, winning from Karnataka State Lottery rupees 4 lakhs gross. So they have given the gross amount, so entire amount must be taken. It is a casual income, no need to be grossed up because it is already grossed up. Interest on bank deposit received 90,000 net. So in this case, interest on bank deposit, if interest exceeds rupees 10,000, TDS of 10% must be calculated. So if the interest on bank deposits or bank fixed deposit exceeds rupees 10,000, that must be grossed up at the rate of 10%. Share from HUF, it is exempted income. So next, following are the income details of Mrs. Roshni, a resident. Compute her income from other sources for assessment year 2019-20. She gave management consultancy service to the entrepreneurs during the year and received 55,000 from clients. She claims she spent rupees 5,000 on related traveling. So here she has given some services, consultancy services. For that she earned 55,000 from his client. It is taxable under income from other sources. So for that she incurred 5,000 or 5,000 of traveling expenses. The expenses must be deductible from the respective income. Next, income from agriculture in Sri Lanka. So it is taxable under income from other sources because agricultural income is earned in other country, that means Sri Lanka. Entire amount will be taxable. Dividend from Union Trust of India, it is exempted. Interest on post office savings bank account up to 3,500 is exempted. Above that is taxable. So here the amount of interest is 1,000. So entire amount will be exempted. So the next, she holds the following investment: 1 lakh 9% tax free commercial securities. So it is non-government securities, moreover tax free. So amount of interest must be grossed up at the rate of 10%. Next, 30,000 7% debentures of Canara Mills Limited. So it is also a non-government securities, but it is less tax. So it should not be grossed up when they have given amount of investment and the rate of interest. So only the amount of interest must be taken. Next, tax-free debentures of LIC Limited. It is a non-government securities, moreover tax-free securities. Amount of interest must be grossed up at the rate of 10%. She lives in a rented house and pays rent of 6,000 per month. She has sublet 1/3 portion of the house on a rent of 3,000 per month. So it is nothing but income from subletting of house property. So from the total income, 3 payments must be deductible and the balance is to be called as taxable income from other sources.